The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the February 21st, the terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I can make that one little 2x4 shift, well, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on in at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't dial in, but you've got a question, you can always send me an email. For that, send that to steve@tfnn.com. And then inside the subject heading, if you'll be kind enough to put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. We start the morning with a sea of red out there, whether it's all the sectors in the S&P 500 or all the U.S. indices that we track. Of course, the exception being that spot volatile index, which is up $1.63, 7%, and it is well above its 50-day exponential moving average. That puts the sale at the back of the sellers. The Dow's down 491 points, about 1.5%. Same for the S&P, or 60 points. NASDAQ 1 7/10. That's 211 points, a little over 2% for the Russell, 41 points there. Semis off 1 6/10. That's 48 points. The tranny's down 379, 2.5% there. Gold is off $5. Silver's up 21 cents. Light sweet crude is flat. Natural gas is off 14 pennies. The 30-year Treasury down 1 point and 9 ticks, trading out at 124.16. Now, lead the charge dollar-wise, the upside. You've got Sigma Lithium up about $6. Apellis Pharmaceuticals up about 6. Linda PLC up 5. Travere Therapeutics up $3. That's about 17% move there. TVTX is the ticker symbol. To the downside, it's Dillard's off $41. That's nearly 10%. Nordson is down $25, about 11%. MicroStrategy down $20, nearly 7%. BlackRock is off 21, about 3%. Alnylam Pharmaceuticals down about 9%, nearly 20 buckaroonies. But let's begin the day by simply taking a look at the equity future contracts out here. So we've got the daily and the weekly, in some instances, their profile levels, the ES Mini in the upper left-hand panel out there. So one price target for it. I see I'm going to have to do this too. Give me a second here. Dang. One way for me to do this, and I apologize. I thought I was going to be able to easily go to something, and that turned out to not be the case. So it's going to populate something here on a chart, and we'll flip back and forth. So momentarily, we'll have the weekly set of charts from the NinjaTrader software system, so that we can see where the other areas of potential support are going to be. So we're below the bottom of that daily profile from a daily time frame for the ES Mini. We are below the low of Friday, which was a bullish hammer candle. So that's never a good sign. Just trading below the low of the prior day is never a good sign. So one price target for the ES Mini is approximately 39.78. I say approximately because, well, that's where the oscillator and change line is valued right now. That's going to change up and down, but use that as a price target guideline. If price closes below that, then the likely outcome is moved to 38.44.90. Well, can't really do that, but 38.44, 38.45 is what we'll call it. So that's the setup on the ES Mini right now. The setup on the NQ is that price is back inside its daily profile. It is below Friday's low, obviously, and its price target is either the top of its weekly chart, weekly profile. That's the only green line that I have up on the screen right now on the upper right-hand panel chart is the weekly top of the profile. So that'd be the first level. Turns out that the top of the weekly profile is lining up with its daily bullish structured area. So likely price is going to target 11,975 to 12,070 out there. Do we have a oscillator and change line that could be a target? Well, on the weekly basis, down for the NQ at the 11,650 area. So it really doesn't come into play at the moment out here, but it could if we get it close below 11,975. Now off to the Dow. And by the way, all four of these have topping patterns out here. So the ES Mini was the last one, and that formed that sell the D point on Thursday when it generated that bearish engulfing candle out there. Now, back to the Dow out here. The Dow is trading below the bottom of its daily profile. So its likely price target is 32,940, the bottom of the weekly profile. So that's 32,940. Price is below its weekly oscillator and change line. That is the lower left out there. So the only price target that we have from a support standpoint is going to be that 32,940. If we take a look at the Russell 2000, the Russell 2000 is likely targeting an area of support that is the bottom of its daily profile and the center of its weekly profile. And that would be between the range of 1896 to 1902. We're at 1905 right now. The low of the trading session been 1904. So that's an area. Now, if price closes below the 1896 level, daily bottom of its profile, then a likely price target, we've got 1845 out there. Let's go take a look at where its oscillator and change line is, 1867 for the weekly time frame. So those are your areas of support to the downside with regard to the equity future contracts out there. Does that mean you should jump on board the short train right now? I don't think the answer to that is yes. Why? Because when we take a look at the advanced decline oscillator, now this is only a reading at 1113. It matters more about 4 p.m.'s reading than it does at 1113. But we have to go with the information that we have available to us at this moment. And right now what we can see is the New York Stock Exchange, its advanced decline oscillator, that's the difference between the 19 and 39 period, exponential moving average, is now down in the oversold area and is starting to approach the significant oversold level. And that is at minus 250. Once you get down to the minus 150 area, that's when it gets into an oversold condition. Not that those conditions can't continue out there, but I guess the point is that more likely than not, you're likely going to see some type of a bounce. Now, I'm not saying it happens tomorrow, but sometime over, as long as this condition remains out there and keeps pushing lower, it's a little bit like that ball when you're inside a pool and you try to stand on it, with your feet, and eventually, of course, you lose your balance, or at least I lose my balance, and boom, it comes shooting up to the upside out there. So there should be. Now, I'm not saying the market will shoot up to the upside, but there is some type of relief rally. We don't have any signals, I don't believe. Well, we'll look at the intraday charts out there today, but I don't believe we have anything of significance just yet. Although Dow Equity Future Contract does have a TD9 count bottom that is in place out there. I'm looking at a 9, and the NQ is actually, for its 30-minute time frame, is about to form one as well. So let's just switch over to those charts. I can always come back to this since I really brought that up and try to be a smooth transition here. And so we'll take a look at those 30-minute time frame charts. And on a 30-minute basis, you'll see bound here, right here, bottom left, you've got a confirmed TD9 count bottom. That should take price to 33,465 or so. The pattern will get negated, though, with a close below 33,348. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So I left the 30-minute equity future contract charts up on our screen here just so we can finish the review of those. So again, I'll just simply expand out the Dow equity future contract. So you see that it completed a TD9 count bottom as we came on the air at 11 o'clock. So what that establishes for us is a threshold level, which is the bottom of that pattern. That turns out that that's on bar number 9. That level is at 33,388. Now, we've got another 12 minutes left in this session. If price closes below that, right now we can see it's tested it, but if price closes below that, it'll negate that signal and tell us about a strong momentum move to the downside. On the other hand, as long as that area holds, what I mean by hold, there's no close below that level. What price should then do is target its red oscillator and change line. Now, as you can see, the oscillator and change line here has acted as a really great resistance level for quite some time. I'm just simply going back to 3 o'clock in the morning out here as we take a look at the chart. So if price is able to close above that for 2 consecutive bars, well, the odds would favor a price move up to the 33,667 level. We're not there just yet, but it is something to note. So pay attention to the Dow equity future contract, certainly because of its 30-minute chart. We'll take a look and see if there's any other signals on some of the other time frames as well. But the NQ is the other 30-minute chart that is going to complete a TD9 count. Now, it already has bar number 9 at the low, and this is the bar following bar number 9, which can be the low of the pattern. So that says 11 minutes from now, you'll have a completed TD9 count bottom in the NQ. Now, it should also bounce up and test its oscillator and change line that is currently printed at the 12,211 area. On the other hand, and I don't know what that low is going to be. I can tell you what that low is right now, but that's not necessarily the low that's going to be as we come into the this close of this 30-minute bar. But right now it's at 12,168. Whatever the low is on this 30-minute time frame, if price closes below that, we can see that the number I gave you is going to get taken. So whatever the low is of this bar, if price closes below that low, it tells you about a strong momentum move to the downside inside the NQ as well. Showing daily charts, really? Oh man, sorry about that. Let's go over here. I hate when that happens, but it does happen. So Stevie will go over to this chart, and we're going to go through this again. It's important for you to watch. So here's the TD9 count, and thank you, folks inside the Tiger's Den for letting me know. So here's the 30-minute chart for the NQ. You can see we're in the bar following bar number 9. Again, the current low out here is at the 12. 164.75 level, but just check back in by 11:30 to see what that low is. And what price should do is bounce up that oscillator and change line. You can see how that has really acted as resistance most of the morning. It wasn't, you got to close above it at 1 to 130, really to about for 1 hour. And what price was doing there was just testing the top of its resistance level, the top of its profile. So here, the profile levels, you don't get to those until you're 12,240 out there. So that's the NQ. Let me come back and show you the Dow Equity Future Contract, which already has a completed TD9 count bottom. I'll just simply expand out that chart as well. And so here, if I can get rid of this, that's the low of the pattern that we're watching, which is being tested, but so far it has rejected that low. That low, again, being at the 33,348 level. Close below that, that says we still have lower to go, at least based upon the 30-minute time frame charts. As you'll see out here, the ES Mini does not have a similar pattern, nor does the Russell 2000. So it's just those two right now, the Dow and the NQ, that we would rely upon. So what else do I have to share with you? I think that's kind of with regard to the general markets. That's pretty good. So let's go take a look at some requests that have come in. So let me close these out. So I get a few less resources here being eaten up. System is operating just a tad slow, and there's no way for me to restart it as we speak. You know what we'll do here, just to keep some synergy, if there is such a thing, is I'm just going to move over to the other panel that has the entire set of screens here for the ES. Since the ES did not have any kind of a bottom signal for its 30-minute time frame, let's go see if there is any kind of signal out here. And as we look at those charts, or these charts out here, the only one is a potential TD9 count bottom pattern that has completed on the 10-minute basis. So if you want to get super granular out here, which I think we can't, so I didn't see any other bottoming patterns, you've got a TD9 count bottom that if price closed on a 10-minute basis we're looking at, if price closes below that low being 40.2250, that's going to suggest that we still will see lower price inside the ES Mini. So that's another area that you can take a look at with regard to what the markets are doing. As we look at the 15 and 30-minute chart, we don't see any kind of bottom signals. You do see Rhodes Momentum Indicator signals that have been triggered, but those need bullish reversal candles to confirm a bottom. We don't have anything that's suggesting that as we speak. So it is only the 10-minute time frame chart for the ES Mini that has any kind of a confirmed bottoming pattern as we speak, and that could easily be taken out by 11:30. It's 11:23 right now. Okay, let's go to our first request out here. First request coming in from the Tiger's Den, and it was Frank Trades. And Frank wants to take a look at ticker symbol CPZ. Let me make sure I've got the right charts up there. So CPZ is what? It is Calamos LS Equity and Dynamic Income Trust out here. So what we can see is this had a nice TD9 count top, Frank. You can see that formed on February the 2nd. It completed on the very next trading session, February 3rd. Then what price did was it got back inside its profile, kind of hung around in there. And what it's done today, it's testing the bottom of its daily profile. And that's at the price point of 16.37. Granted, it's 2 pennies below it right now. But it also pulled back to its breakout level of 16.26. That was a TD9 count breakout level. The cool thing about that pattern is that nobody would have selected, nobody with inside TFNN or nobody that I know of would have selected 16.26 as a breakout area. That's one of the powers of that TD9 count. So you should really want to learn that pattern. I'll teach it to you. Subscribe to Mastering Probability. You can do it for 29 days. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's a very easy pattern, especially if you're for your portfolio on your daily, weekly, monthly charts out there. It's a very easy pattern to be aware of, where at least you may not have profile support, but you would at least have that ultimate support area of where price is broken out from. Why? Because when price breaks through, close below a breakout area, that's usually a signal that we're headed lower out here. So watch in the case of CPZ, the 1626 level. I forget your specific question, Frank, and I'm having trouble locating it. We can do this real quickly here. Frank Trades, let us know when flies pig. Dividend play that seems to be holding up well. Well, it's we'll say it's holding up well as long as 1626 holds out there. If it doesn't, where would price likely head to? So what I would do here, Frank, is I come over to the weekly time frame chart, and the area that sticks out to us is the 1595 area. That happens to be the bottom of its weekly profile, that is. So that's the other area to watch if price gets below 1626. Is 1626 likely to hold? Well, it would be more likely to hold if we come over to an intraday chart, and the only one that I'm using right now is a 30-minute time frame chart, and we could find some type of bottoming pattern. Now, there's the potential that within the next 5 minutes, you'll get a bullish hammer candle. And in that case, you would have a buy the D point pattern. Short of that, not being a bullish hammer candle, then I'd say we don't have an indication that, in fact, that 1626 area will hold. On a daily time frame as well, this is going to be the third day to the downside, or appears that it will be the third lower close, that is. This is acted like typical instruments, a 2-bar knee-jerk reaction low, and then at least a bounce out there. So bar number 3, the last time we had that was on December 28th, and that was at a low that was taking place out there. So odds favor, that is, that you should at least see some type of a bounce tomorrow. So Frank Trades, I hope that helps you out with regard to CPZ. Thanks so much for the request. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Folks, I would love to hear from you as well. 877-927-6648 or a private or public ping inside our Tiger's Den. Of course, you can always give us a call at 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow is off 533 points. S&P down 64. NASDAQ's off 230, and the Russell's down 45 points out there. We're taking a look at the stock charts out here for Align Technologies. This is coming in from David H. David says, does it look like a line? ALGN, folks, is the ticker symbol. Will fill the gap back down to the 284 level. Thanks, David, in Panama City. So as we take a look at the charts out here, we'll flip back to my daily time frame charts to look at the potential for an A to B equals CD to the downside. Right now, what price is doing on a daily time frame, it's testing the swing point from February 10th. That swing point did volume of 1 million shares. The low on that, which is really important, is 310.38. If price closes below that, we're at 308.59 right now. We're at 309, that is. Why do I have a little bit of a delay? And it was around the 309 level out there. If price closes below that, and the volume so far today is at 256. So 2 hours of trading, 250. If we multiply that times 3, we get to 750. The volume again on that swing point was 1 million. So we're coming into that swing point with lighter volume. So the question is, does that level hold, Dave? That's the first thing that I'd be paying attention to. Again, that low, 310.38. The weekly time frame chart shows a TD9 count top. And this week, right now today, a new profile has formed for the weekly time frame. Now, that profile is below price. That is a bullish signal. If that doesn't mean that price can't get back to test support, which would be 284.52. You asked about 284. So if price closes below the B point of a potential A to B equals CD to the downside on the daily time frame, again, that's being the 310.38 level, likely the weekly outcome will be moving back towards that 284 level. That would then get you into filling that gap. The next thing I would also pay attention to on a monthly time frame is where price bounced up to, and it was a 3-month rally, at least so far. Price ran right in resistance at its red oscillator and change line. So the longer term charts, the monthly and the weekly certainly are suggesting lower price. The question is on the daily, will it have the volume to take that level out? Now let's go take a look at the A to B equals CD pattern, potential pattern that is, on a daily time frame to the downside. And for that, we'll switch over and take a look at the black background screen. And here, we'll see on the daily time frame, I already went ahead and drew that in. So you got the 310.38 level. We're at 308.91 right now. And if price does close below that, then it gives you a 1-to-1 price projection of 280.61. Now, that does not get you back to the 284 level. What would get you back past the 284 level is the 1 to 1.272 A to B equals CD. I think that is a very likely outcome, David. And the real, again, as long as price closes below 310.38, and the reason that this should do more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, if it closes below that swing point, is because it's retracement. The B to C level was only a 49% retracement. The retracement levels that we typically look at are 0.382, 0.618, 0.786. Each of those levels, if you picture in your mind taking a rubber band, wrapping as hard as you want around your index finger, let's say, until it cuts off the blood circulation. If you only back it off 38% and you let that rubber band go, compare that energy to doing the exact same exercise and backing it off 68%. Which one has more energy? Obviously, the 0.382 retracement has more energy left in it. Well, that's how it applies to a stock chart as well. It has more energy. The lower the retracement level, the higher the outcome is that you get more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD pattern. In this case here, that could be to the downside. So that's what I see when I take a look at Align Technologies. With regard to today's performance, this is day number 3 of a move to the downside. If we take a look at other instances out here, we had a 3-day move. This was back at that swing point of February 10th. Out here, I see a number of 3-day moves to the downside. So kind of watch that. But and if you've got all the variables that you need to pay attention to. So I hope that helps you out. And have a terrific Tuesday. Next question coming in from Dennis. In fact, that's the only question I've got inside the period, whether it's inside the den or elsewhere, and that is to take a look at Microsoft. And Dennis, West Palm Beach, likes Microsoft on the shorter term time frame. So I put this chart up here that I usually look at for the futures contracts out there. So you're always interested in where is this headed to short term. Well, let's just take a look at some of those charts. If we take a look at a 10-minute time frame chart, you have a Rhodes momentum indicator pattern that will fail with a, geez, I hate to do that, it will fail with a close below 252.84. You're below that right now. You've got 26 minutes left in this session out here to make that determination. So note that on your pad of paper. If that pattern fails, that suggests lower price. That was the 10-minute time frame chart. A 15-minute time frame chart shows you are in bar number 8 of a TD9 count. You've got a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that has been triggered out there. What you'd like to see is a bottom pattern on both the 10 and 15-minute chart out here. But the 15-minute chart does say that you could see a bottom based upon it that forms between 12 noon and 12:30. So between 12 and 12:30. And what you'd really be watching for there, Dennis, is you would need to really see price close above its red oscillator and change line, currently printed at 253, to suggest that there's any rally. And any rally could take you up to the 256 level. That is not what the chart says just yet. I'm just having you try to anticipate the potential patterns that could form out here. If we look at the 30-minute time frame chart, what we'll see out here is that this needs a bullish reversal candle to confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. Then you need two closes above 253.95 to suggest a run for the 257 level. Lastly, the 60-minute time frame chart, I don't see any kind of a bottom pattern out here. Although we do, no, I don't see any kind of bottom pattern as we speak right now to pay attention to. So what do the short-term time frame charts tell us inside of Microsoft? Looks like they want to at least continue to head lower out here, but the 15-minute chart, is the one with the only bottom signal, I'm assuming right now. Well, the 10-minute chart did negate that TD9 count bottom out there. So the only short-term time frame that has any stuck on the black background, really? Shoot. Oh, man. Okay. So here we are. So here's the 10-minute chart. I'll just simply do this as quickly as I can. My apology. TD Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. That and there was a TD9 count bottom pattern as well. They both failed on that last bar out there. That suggests lower price. The only time frame with any kind of a potential confirmed signal out there, I say potential because we still have to create bar number 9 on a 15-minute basis. Bar number 9 is going to require a close below 253.35. If you get that, then it's a 15-minute time frame that would signal a potential trade out there, but the other time frames do not show anything. And on a daily time frame, in fact, more important, I just focused on the intraday time frames for you, Dennis, but if you look at the daily time frame, price right now is trading below its breakout level of 254.78. That's really a suggestion to you and I that Microsoft is trying to form a change in trend signal to us. That change in trend signal would suggest lower price. Now, I only have the daily as the larger time frame out here. So the area of support on the weekly time frame is at the 248.12. That would be the top of the weekly profile. So Dennis in West Palm Beach, I hope that helps you out with regard to Microsoft. If there's anything else that you needed, please let me know, and I'll be happy to get to that. So no other questions that I take that back. There's one that just popped up. It's from HD. And HD wants to take a look at ticker symbol DNN. So we're going to switch back, stay in this white background chart panel area, so I hope. And then we're going to go ahead and type in that, that's a Home Depot. We'll come back and look at Home Depot if we have some time, if I don't have a question out there. So let's go take a look at ticker symbol DNN. Let's get that populated. DNN happens to be Denison Mines Corporation. Trading out at about $1.25 right now. Ooh, this could be forming an A to B equals CD to the downside. So if this does have volume of more than 7.5 million shares, you're about 1.8 right now today. 2, 4, 6. Looks like lighter volume, but you still could pass that B point. That B point being 129. We get back from this break. We'll further look at DNN for HD. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's down 536, S&P's off 63, NASDAQ 221, Russell's down 46 points. We're taking a look at the charts here for DNN. DNN is this is for HD. Guy came in by email. He's looking for a long entry point. So what I've done here on the charts for DNN on the daily time frame, you'll see this top with wave number 7. That's letter G out there. And now it's forming an A to B equals CD to the downside. And as long as price closed below 129, with or without volume out there, with volume it would be a confirmed A to B equals CD to the downside. Without volume, it still can form that A to B equals CD to the downside. So the 1-to-1 takes us into the 115-ish level out there, 118 to be exact. And if we take a look at the weekly time frame chart, what we see on a weekly time frame chart is price is back below its green oscillator and change line. And that should have acted as support. It has not. And with price below that level, that suggests a run to the bottom of its profile. So it's a $1.14. So we got a $1.14 to a $1.18. Those would be the areas that I would be watching for DNN. If something changes in the chart patterns out there, well, then HD, please write back. We'll take a look at that and try to figure that one out for you. The next request coming in from the Tiger's Den. I don't know if it was a request or not, but it was a question that was posed, and we're going to go try to answer that. And that question was coming in from Don P., which reminds me of Don Potter. And Don Potter, if any of you like the tune Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I think he produces the best version of that I have ever heard. Now, Don Potter, and then there's another guy in Hawaii. I forget his name off the top of my head. The two of those guys, I think, have the best renditions of that tune. In any event, Don P. asked the question, why is Rio Tinto bouncing? Now, if you take a look at this daily time frame chart, what sticks out here that you and I have talked about for so long that identified a bottom pattern out here? Yes. It was a TD9 count pattern, and that formed out here on February 10th. It actually completed the following day, the bar following bar number 9. It was the low of I take that back. It was the day of February 10th that identified that TD9 count bottom. That was the bar following bar number 9. When you do that, Don, Mr. Potter out there, you don't mind if I call you Mr. Potter at this stage, even though your last name's not Potter. But Don, typically when you get a bottom pattern, that's what we have inside a daily time frame for Rio Tinto. What price will do is go target that oscillator and change line. That is exactly what is happening as we speak right now. So the bounce, so to speak, or the move to that green oscillator and change line is normal because it had that nice bottoming pattern. Now, if price is able to take that out, what I mean by take that out, I mean close above it. And that currently is printed at 76.33. Give it a penny or two. If price does close above that, then what should take place is price should then go up to its next resistance area. And that's going to be between the range of 78.47 and 79.82 out there. So that's where the next battle would take place if, in fact, price can close above that green oscillator unchanged line out there. So I hope that helps you out, at least with regard to what Rio Tinto is doing and why. And Steve, ES 15-minute forming a TD9 bar. Thank you, Mr. Bill. So, yeah, if we go back to those charts, well, I don't know if I can go back to those charts or not. I can. I just think it's Microsoft that's in there. So we'll put up the ES Mini out here. We'll go back and take a look at it. And so as Mr. Bill is pointing out, with regard to the intraday charts that I monitor, there's only one that's got a bottom pattern, but we're going to, well, I take that back. The 10-minute looks like that is forming a Rhodes momentum indicator signal out there. But what price will need to do is close above its a red oscillator and change on at 40.25. So that'd be another good way to pay attention to what's going on. The ES Mini is forming bar number 9 as we speak right now. So you got bar number 8 in place, but bar number 9 still has to close below, in order for that to come to fruition, still has to close below 40.2775. If somehow between now and 12 noon price closes above that level, then this pattern here will get negated. What will remain is the Rhodes momentum indicator signal, but again, that needs a bullish reversal candle in order to confirm out there. And the 30-minute chart, as you can see, Mr. Bill, it is on also working on bar number 8 as we speak. So monitor that 15, the 10-minute, the 15-minute, and the 30-minute, certainly from an intraday standpoint to kind of give you some kind of signal if there's any kind of a relief rally that is in play out here. Steve, try Jason Costello version of Over the Rainbow. Jay, I will do that, and I forget the name of the guy in Hawaii, but he's got another great rendition of that. Just happened that was my dad's favorite tune out there. So whenever, not my favorite tune necessarily, but it's a nice tune out there. So whenever that comes up, I just kind of harken back to his days. I can remember many days as a kid. Now, when I say as a kid, I mean a kid. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all those years. I remember many early morning with my dad and his buddies getting up at the middle of the night, like 2 and 3 in the morning, and us driving to go fishing out there. So they were big fishermen, and that tune always seemed to come on the radio out there. So it's slowly becoming one of mine. Oh, you've got it posted in here, so I'll listen to that. So thank you very much, Jay, for posting that. No other I take that back. I do see a question here. This one coming in from Mimi K. Mimi, thanks so much for writing in. Comments on the UNG and KOLD. So what is KOLD out there? That's a natural gas. Okay, so it's a natural gas ETF. So that's just what I wanted to check on. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to just switch over to my set of normal natural gas charts out here. Doesn't have the real short-term time frames out there, which I do for the show. The show or the show, depending on how you refer to the show. So, yeah, that's the guy. Somewhere over the rain. That's right. Izzy Kamakawiyao. That is a great one. That is a great one out there to listen to. So find the one from Don Potter, if you can, as well out there. And then we can have a contest, see which one people like the best. So back to Mimi's question, with regard to natural gas. On Friday, what natural gas did was it went ahead and negated its buy the D point pattern. So we got A to B equals CD patterns out here inside of the natural gas contract all over the place. And what happened was on the trading day of February 6th, you got that bullish reversal candle, a bull sash. You got a Three River Morningstar on February 10th. And both those patterns confirmed a buy the D point. But as soon as price closed below support, and support was the 2.3. This is the April contract, by the way, we're looking at 241. Which it did on Friday, it negated that signal. What you will see out here right now, Mimi, is you'll see on the daily time frame, a Rhodes momentum indicator signal has been triggered. We also have a wave number 7 pattern. 2 patterns don't make it any stronger than 3 patterns or just 1 pattern. Just 1 pattern is all you need. And what you really need here is a bullish reversal candle to then confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. If you get that, it would then make sense to take a long position inside UNG or cold with stops, of course. The reason why I say it would make a sense to do that, and I already tried this once, I'm going to try it again out here. Well, if the pattern present themselves, that is. And here we can see on a weekly time frame, we are in the bar following bar number 9. This suggests that this week we should see some type of bottom in natural gas. How are we going to know? Well, I would think we would get a bottom pattern on the daily time frame to confirm that. So that's what I'm looking at with regard to natural gas. No reason to touch either UNG or KOLB until we get that confirmed signal. So hope that helps you out. Steve Rhodes with TFNN.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We've got the Dow down 540, S&P's off 66, 232 for the NASDAQ, and the Russell is down 47. Rich wrote in and said, where did you used to go fishing? So a number of different places, but we had a place up in Alpena, Michigan. For those of you not familiar with it, it's on Lake Huron. It's in the Lake Huron area. And it's not all the way up to the northern peninsula, but it's about 3/4 of the way, at least up to there. And so there was a lake, it's still around, I'm sure, called Fletcher's Floodwaters. It was about, as I recall, maybe an hour drive, half an hour to an hour drive to get to the spot at Fletcher's Floodwaters. It's pretty much due west of where we were located, and it was like it was a forest that was flooded. So it truly is floodwaters out there. And what I mean by that is you're in your boat, and there are many times where, even though you don't see it, you end up getting stuck on a tree, on a log right there, that you've got to push off. And there was a military base nearby. I remember, just as a young kid, probably 6 or 7 out there, and lots of fog, so you couldn't really see a whole lot. And of course, my dad and his buddy, they were familiar with the area, thought they could navigate. But all of a sudden, there, the plane, Army plane or military plane, I should say, comes flying overhead, landing. I didn't realize that there was an airport right there, and it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 in the morning. Just as a little kid, just kind of scared the heck out of me. But a very cool place. You go fishing there. I mean, you get some bass, most certainly, but we went fishing mostly for pike and walleye. Up there, but mostly pike. You get these big, long pike, which is a kind of a dangerous fish. You got to be very careful, most certainly, taking the hook off of that thing. But a lot of great fishing stories up there. So that's one of the primary places where we used to go fishing up in the Michigan area. Of course, I went into that story. Oh, I didn't realize we were towards the end of the show. Wow, Stevie, pay attention. Well, I don't really have much more to report on for you out there other than stay tuned. We got some great programming lined up, and I will be back here tomorrow at 11 o'clock sharp. So thanks for joining us. Have a terrific Tuesday, folks, and we'll look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care now.